Wednesday, good morning everybody. Welcome to Hollywood Bets Grable. It's a poly meet of 8 races. We've got Len on the line. He'll talk us through the card. We'll start with race 1. I'm told Keegan DeMella might be running a little bit late. I'm picking up here that a couple of change of riders. First race we've got Mikhail Michel riding number 4, Perfect Power now. And in the second race, number 8, this horse Last Margarita is now the ride of Calvin Habib. So just make a note of that so you guys are up to date. With the market, number 1, Bison Warrior tops the boards. It's priced up at 11 at 10. 8, Kiki Your Beauty is 17 to 10, and they bet 8 to 1 bar the 2. Just some comments from trainers. Number 2, Nice Speedy Filly, and will benefit from the run, says Louis Huisson. And the Justin Snaith stable about number 5, the Swan Song, has not been to Hollywood Bets Grable. If not to green, a small each way chance. A comment on there. And Tony Revelin says number 7, Merry Affair, distance could be a bit short. But it does look like 2 horses. Morning, Len.
Good morning, Clyde. Yes, if there's none of the first timers are above average here, then it certainly looks like the top 2 in the betting should fight it out. And judging by the trainer comments, it doesn't seem that anything is they're overly bullish with the first timers. So for me, obviously, the Bison Warrior has the beating of Kiki Your Beauty on the twice that they've met. But Kiki Your Beauty has been gelded. So, if the gelding has gone the right way and he makes improvement, well, then he could turn the tables on Bison Warrior. But for the bipod, I'm going to include both of them, Bison 1 and 8.
Got it, 1 and 8 in the first leg. That bipod on screen. There are a couple of bankers in there. Third leg banker the 2, fourth leg banker the 7. Cost 144. Yeah, there only one of 4 horses can win. Yeah, there's some money for Candice Bass's horse, number 5, Liz Hurley. That Sereno Moodley's riding. It's shortened from 5 to 2 to 22 to 10. So some interest in that. But number 6, Isabella's got to be a runner. 7 at 2. And Andrew Fortune's riding that for Dougie Campbell. 7, Floral Kingdom is at 5 to 1. Damon Pilley's on Yoga's Governor's horse there. And Rachel Venniger's on Mace Roberts' horse, the 10. Lady Jerome, who can also win. And that's at 11 to 2. Then it's 10 to 1 and better about the balance. Thought maybe from those 4, Len?
Yes, Clyde, I agree with you 100%. Although it's an open-looking race, but I think one of these 4 will come through. The form is very close together, and it's difficult to actually pick one out. None of these horses have run on the poly, so I guess it's whoever takes to the surface best. If I had to choose one, I would go with the 10 horse Lady Jerome. She showed a lot of speed last time, and she was no match for the winner on that occasion. But if she gets away from them in the straights on the poly track, she might be hard to reel in. But I've included all 4 of them, 5, 6, 7, and 10.
Okay, got it. And that is the place accumulator. Start to the PA. That perm will cost 288. Okay, let's get to the third now. Menagerie, the horse to beat. Yeah, it's odds on 11 at 20. It should really be a walk in the park, I would imagine, for Stewie Ferry and Sean Veal's runner. The 3, Legal Tango, is at 4 to 1. Number 1, Boogie, is at 7s. And number 7, Dancing Party, is trading at 12s. And that's pretty much what it looks like in terms of the third. Any particular comments that might be of interest? Well, for anniversary, Garth Puller says, we'll need the experience. I think that's the only... No, there's another one from Gary Rich about number 8, D-Day, given time to rest. But the odds-on looks hard to beat, Glenn.
Certainly, Clyde. Yes, I agree with you again, 100%. Menagerie, he's had 2 exceptionally good runs to date. She only went down narrowly on debut to De Gulden, who finished a creditable 3rd in her post-maiden run. And then she was only pipped by the hot favourite Carrari's Dancer in the Strelitzia, so in her second run. So I think they'll all be running for second in this race. So Menagerie, a banker.
Yeah, it looks like it. And I see you've got a pick 6 banker just now as well. Number 7 in the second leg. We're going for Barry's Boy today. And then we're loading up. Hopefully we can catch and spend, if you like, 200 Rand for 10%. Race 4. Here's the betting. 13 to 10 about Barry's Boy. This is one of Lane's bankers on the card. Opened up at around that price, I think. I haven't really seen too much movement. Maybe there has been. Andrew Fortune on for Lucinda Woodruff, and Lucinda's having a very good run right now. 2 Highveld Storm, 7-2 for Dom Zaki and Jason Gates. They're the second favourite. 8 on the card. Don Magoo is at 9-2. And then you can get 8-1 the 4 Kachow and 8-1 number 5 Quarter Master. After that, 20s and better about the balance. But we all in Barry's boy here, right, Len?
Clyde, this is not a particularly strong maiden field, and I'm going with the Cape Town visitor, Barry's boy. You know, he's been around the turn at Greyville before, although not on the poly track. And if you go back in his form, he ran 4.5 lengths off Fordray in his second start. And Fordray has won his last 3 races in a row. So I feel that form is good enough to win in a field of this caliber. Highveld Storm, Kachow, Quartermaster, and Don Magoo, they all have money chances, but I think hard to beat Barry's boy.
Got it. Okay, thanks for that, Barry's boy. That's our play. We'll be shouting it home for pick sixes and jackpots. Let's get it home now. Last leg of this particular jackpot, we just need 1, 2, and 3. So Hodgepodge as well, this has been climbing in the handicap all the while, does certainly have a claim in a race like this. In terms of the market, they've got Hodgepodge priced up at 7-2 at this point in time. The 8 Fine Wine is at 7-2. They're joints right now. And the 7 Sasha's Dream is the next in, who's at 9-2. 5-1 about the 5, who is Zena Rose. 9 Grand Occasion is 6-1 and 10-1. They're taking some of the 12s about a horse called Arctic Fury, number 3 on the card that Michaela Michelle's riding for Dougie Campbell. It's 12-1 and better about the balance. Quite a few in here again, Len. This will be, I guess, a few you're going to need to load up with.
Clyde, yes. Look, Hodgepodge, she's amazing. She gives her best all the time. She's going for 3 in a row, but I do think it's an open race. There's a lot of fillies in with chances here, so I urge the punters to include as many as possible. I'm going for a bit of a roughie, Cassandra. She wasn't disgraced last time, having raced wide, and I feel it was slightly stronger opposition that day. She's now back against her own sex, and I really do think she'll run a good race. But I would include as many as possible here.
Yeah, quite interesting, the riding arrangement too. Kingington Mellows on Zena Rose and Sean Veal now on Hodgepodge. And who knows, maybe your outsider can put something together for us. Okay, well, let's put them all into the play, into the second jackpot opportunity, everybody. And then right at the back, that final leg, we're hoping it's a boat race, 8 and 9. All right, let's get to race number 6 on the card now. And this is a class 4. It's over the 1,400 metres. Should run at about 3:30 this morning, Wednesday morning betting. They've got number 7, Active Grace, who won a good race last time out at 33-10. Chad's on for Glenn Cotson, Chad Little. The 8 horse, Izzy Bulu, is the second choice at 9-2. 1 Mystique Rouge is at 5-1. And the 3 Flying Fate, together with the 4 Pour Some Sugar on Me, 11-2. 10s and better about the balance, Len. Handful of horses with chances, yeah, but I didn't mind the way Active Grace won last time.
Yes, Clyde. She won well, and both of her wins have been at Scottsville. But she has run well on her 2 tries on the poly before, so she's got to be respected. I quite liked the look of Happy Fortune, but she needs to get away on terms. She often gets left, and if she jumps on terms, she'll be a big runner. And then the other horse, Mystic Rouge, she does step up a little bit in class here, but she loves the course and distance, and I think she'll be in the shake-up again. So those would be my top 3 in a rather open race.
Okay, we'll use them in the boxed exactas then. 1, 2, and 7. We've got those in the bipots as well, so use those numbers to maybe, if you want, triple float in the quartets, but that's how we see them running. All right, there'd be a few in here again with a bit of a chance. Let's take a look at the 7th now. It's a class 5. So they drop a division. It's over 1,000 meters. And there are a couple, I guess, with chances. Let's take a look at the betting. Access Powers, 33 to 10. The one on the card, Andrew Fortune on for Garth Puller. They obviously were successful over the weekend, so it was nice for them. 3 Capolino is at 7 to 2. The 5 Kapsa Klopsa is at 9 to 2. 2 Sugarbush 11 to 2. 6 Lunch Money is trading at 15 to 2. 8 Sun in My Pocket is at 14. So is Hearts on Fire. So is Trafalgar Square. And number 7 in Darker is 20 to 1. So all runners quoted. Len, which way are you going?
Clyde, again, another tricky Class 5 race. Excuse me. But I like the chances of Access Power. He was a bit stiff in his last 2 runs. You know, he got bumped and he was peopled up lame last time. And prior to that, he was bumped again at the start. And he loves the 1,000 meters poly track at Greyville. So, and he's very speedy. So I think he'll run a very big race. Then there's not much between him and Capolino. So wherever they are, they should be together. And then the filly Sugarbush, she needed her last 2 runs, and her last run she was a bit slow away, pulling. I think she was just a bit strange at the Greyville track, and then she got a bit of a bump close home. So, and she wasn't disgraced. She was only beaten under 4 lengths. So I think she's the other one I included. So for me, hopefully one of those 3 will bring us through the exotics.
Yeah, and a little bit of talk about Trafalgar Square as well, maybe for quartets, etc. Back into quartets, put it in your play. Thanks for that, Len. That's the Exacta box. All right, the last one. Can Catch a Penny get it right is the question. The last race on the card certainly looks it on current form. You would imagine. I mean, that last start only beaten a neck or a half a length or whatever it was to Magical Sky. And we're at Greyville, Hollywood Bets Greyville, and we're on the poly. So it all kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Let's see what price they've got this at the moment. 33 to 10 Catch a Penny, who was at 4 to 1. So there's been some support for it. 2 Military Commanders at 3 to 1 and 1 Mojo Man also at 3 to 1. Some interest in Andrew Fortune's ride as well from a betting perspective. Nothing out of the race. They have taken out the 11 Summer Winter, so there'll be 1 or 2 adjustments. Make note of that. And then the 9 Rainbow Reward, I guess, not without a chance, who's currently at 10s, and you can get 10 to 1 and better about the balance. Len, so at the back, can we depend on Catch a Penny this time?
Clyde, again, another tricky race. For the PA, I've narrowed it down to 2 horses, Catch a Penny and Rainbow Reward. Look, Catch a Penny, she's an absolute model of consistency, and she's 99%. She'll run a usual race and she'll be in the mix. Rainbow Reward, you know, he got back on the winning trail 2 weeks ago, and he loves that 1,000 meters poly track at Greyville. So he could follow up on his last win. And then a horse like Mighty Zambezi, he only tied late over the 1,200 last time, but he's back to the 1,000. And again, he should also run a good race. There are quite a few others in with chances, you know, namely Don Carrari, Mojo Man, Military Command. Military Command been very disappointing, but perhaps he'll enjoy the poly track. But my top 2 would be 8 and 9.
8 and 9 at the back. Okay, we'll use the 8 in this horse, Catch a Penny, to float with those horses. Pretty much how we see wrapping up the final race. Thank you, Len. We'll be in touch again over the weekend. Of course, we look forward to the running of a big day, big build-up, in particular reference to the Daily News 2000. Thanks, everybody.